Welcome back to another Alliance War video. We have 4 Loki versus Pycb. This is a rematch. They banned Hulk, Silk, and Titania. Titania is a common ban now that she is tactic and she can absolutely destroy the map. For today's war, I am on path 8 and then path 4 in section 2 with 1 mini. I am going to be bringing in CGR, Sandman, and initially I was going to bring in Omega Sentinel because I'm going to be taking a Domino mini where basically if you do any energy attacks they regen, and if you have any buffs you get drained, power drained basically, and you lose combat power rate for as many buffs that you have. But I decided to do something else. I brought in Mysterio. Mysterio cannot have his ability actually reduced unless he's armor broken. He also has these synergies where he gets increased combat power when fighting a hero, which will come in clutch for it applies to him and Sandman as well in this war, because they're both going to be fighting heroes, Domino and Clair. And that Clair fight, is just kind of like a pain. We've sent multiple things to it and done okay with it. I decided to take it myself after assigning it a few times to other people, and this is the burden of might where the Mysterio is going to come into play here. But the Clair fight, we're just trying to figure out, like, it's obviously a new node and the tactic is new, so we're trying to see if we can just play around both. But we'll get to that a little bit later. For now, we have this this Terrax, and I wanted to put on full recoil, but then in the path 4 fight, if I have too many debuffs, they're unblockable. So I am only running the bleed tree here, and I'm not going to power start 1, mainly because I'm not going to. It's mainly for the Lady Deathstrike fight, so I don't want to that Lady Deathstrike on path 4. I want to Fate Seal her armor ups when I run my SB2. I would still get power back from the SB2 because she would regen it, but it's based off how much damage I'm doing. But I rather kill her with the 2 specials than not. So first up is this Terrax, and just a typical CGR fight. We're going to do cosmic boosting, 12-200 here. Since I'm only running half recoil, doing a combat regen boost, just to help mitigate some of the energy damage from this Terrax, from his rock shield, or rock field I should say. And that's basically to help heal me up for my next CGR fight. But the plan here is to, since I'm not using a power start 1, is I'm going to heavy, and then I'm going to end in a light attack for the power gain, so the aptitude can increase my power gain. And then I'm going to end with a medium into my SB2. He's now Fate Sealed, and my power backs are cooking right here. So at this point I don't want to dex, but it doesn't really matter. He comes right at me and he's dead. I wish I would have taken less damage there, just for potions, but that went ultimately very smooth. And this next fight is this Juggernaut. The plan here, basically, since I am running recoil for this, is to SB3. I'm going to remove his gem whenever I place a non-damaging debuff on him, which is every contact basically with Juggernaut. But he is going to be gaining those furies as the fight goes on, so he will be hurting me through the block. Now, Sandman is bleed and poison immune and shock immune, so I'm not going to take any of the bleed damage here either. The combat regen is on, just happens to be on from the previous fight. So at this point you see he is gaining those furies, and I'm just building up to my special 3. I'm going to bait this out, and some of those furies fall off, and you see when I hit him right there, he loses his gem. Not sure what happened right there, why I backed off instead of doing a full combo, but at this point I have my unstable on, and I didn't want a heavy because I want to stack the physical, the double physical vulnerabilities from this SB3, and if I were to heavy, I would lose my unstable mode. So at this point, you know, doing that lovely damage, and right there, I thought, you know, he was indestructible and unstoppable, but it didn't kind of freeze him like he's supposed to. But that's more of me not being very familiar with Sandman yet. But ultimately, he's definitely cooking right here, doing some damage, and I'm gonna go into the SB2 to end the fight, and that's all she wrote. 92%, can't be mad at that. I can just one small little pot for the Clair fight, which I will need. So this fight, I was actually just worried about collar tech with this fight, because I practiced my rotation that I was going to be doing, and I did want to heavy, light, and medium do that judgment rotation, because I wanted to get to that SB2 and Fate Seal her. But if they're running collar tech, then it can really kind of mess up my rotation. So what I decided to do was parry, take obviously get a little bit of combat power from the block, and then parry again, and then heavy. And I know it seems kind of minuscule, but when I was doing my duels, I just felt like I didn't want to be just shy of that SB2, and then be kind of like, oh man, I threw that SB1, and then everything has to get reset. So there she comes at me, and I'm ready for the SB2, and she's dead. So that went extremely well. I was really just worried about collar tech on her, but ultimately it didn't look like she was running it at all. So this fight right here. Now Clair, when she throws a heavy or SB1, will place bleeds on you, and if you're immune, she'll power gain. Sandman is bleed immune, but with the withers and his petrify, he can reverse that power gain. So that helps with her not going unblockable. However, there's a power sting that applies every 10 seconds. And the node, as soon as it goes to reset, will actually give her a third debuff. It'll count it as 3. So it's extremely frustrating because there's a heal block node on this as well. So the plan basically is to parry, do a 5-hit combo, then parry heavy, and then kind of wait for the sting to pop up, and then do a 5-hit combo to remove it, and really just play the sting damage. And I do that initially, but there's a lot going on here, because I'm watching my resistances and my unstable, and see, like right here, I'm like, okay, right here I should have done a 5-hit combo, but I wanted to bait the special one, and then she tags me, and I'm like, okay, so she's still not unblockable, but I throw the SB1 to clear out the power sting, and I take sting damage, even though, you know, with a global with other attackers elsewhere, the debuff reduction reduces sting damage, but not here. So at this point, I'm like, okay, you know, just kind of try to get to that 20 and remove the combo. And right here I remove it, but she goes unblockable, and I'm just like, I just removed it, but the timer must have just happened to hit. So I'm like, okay, push her to an SB2. I'm indestructible there, and I can push her to an SB2 and use this for an opening, and she's still going to be unblockable, but at least I can hit her with an opening. And I'm just looking at my sting damage and just being like, okay, I can eat some of this stuff. And I dex that SB1, which is always kind of dangerous because you're too far away from her. She can parry you from a distance. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, use my my striker to my SB2 if it doesn't kill her, and I should be good. But man, that fight, there's just a lot going on in that fight. There really is. And it's not enjoyable one bit. But this fight I've taken with Omega Sentinel quite a bit. And it's just, you know, and there's no specials with Omega Sentinel. She gains armor up buffs, and it's super safe. But I wanted to actually try something. I threw on some tech boosts, and I was just going to basically see if I could get to an SB3, try not to dex, and just go from there and see if I can launch a big SB3 for a big pop, because it is kind of on the longer side with Omega Sentinel. Not too bad, but more things can go wrong with Domino at any point. So at this point, she's throwing that heavy. I just dash away just so I can parry her from a distance, and I'm trying to build my my gas right there, and you see that I actually hit into her evade and then quickly block once I saw it, and I'm like, oops. But the plan was basically to parry, throw this SB3, and just do a big old chunk, because this SB3 gives him a huge fury, and he comes out of it and he does some really good damage. So I parried so she could be stunned, but I didn't feel like running across the screen and eating that special to the face. So she gets friendly and she throws that special too, and I'm just gonna wait. I still have plenty of time on my fury and my striker, so I'm gonna throw this, and 25k mediums in that combo ended that fight. So that was my war. Pretty straightforward war. We did end up winning this war. Shout out to Karate Mike, Andrew, and Mad Cat for the MVPs. So we got back on the winning side, and we're currently in a war versus Noon, and I have not done my fights yet, but I am doing prep for it. So just want to get this video out, and I will see you guys in the next one.